Hello, Vanessa.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
I am great. We're here at the Writers Digest conference and it's very exciting.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
When did you figure out you wanted to be a writer, and what was your process like of writing your first novel?
All right. So I'm going to take you back in time. We've got two disconnected things. I'm a nerd's nerd. I will fully admit this. A nerd's nerd is like we hand the pocket protectors to the nerds. I was very academically inclined in school. I was great at writing. I was winning competitions, but I was also good at science. I was winning competitions. And my mom sits me down and she says, "Baby, I know you love this writing thing, but you always have to pay your bills." And, during that time frame, seeing someone who looks like me having a career was once in a blue moon kind of thing. And so it was a much safer bet to go with the whole mechanical engineering thing. And she's absolutely correct. Engineering pays the bills. You get to work for NASA, work for General Motors. But you get a point when you have this other gift that it comes out. So I definitely remember sitting down with my boss. And we're like, "Vanessa, this die-cast manufacturing report is way too interesting." But I had a point in my life where I had to sit still, so if anybody knows me, sitting still is a very, very hard thing. For 5 months, I was pregnant with my daughter. We had a couple complications. And so I had to sit around for 5 months and do nothing. And my husband was walking on eggshells and, like, "You all right, baby? I'm going to deploy, But he brought down some books from the boxes from high school. And I saw a story that I'd written then. I'm like, "Well, I know more stuff. I'm going to rewrite this." Actually, I didn't know more stuff. But the passion to write it and write it well just took off again. And we've been writing ever since.
That's fabulous. And what was that book?
That was Madeline's Protector. And that's the book that I famously rewrote 125 times.
Oh my God, I'm on draft 6 of mine.
It's something I suggest no one actually ever do. But I'm an engineer, and an engineer iterates. And so some of those iterations were to work on dialogue. Some of those iterations were working on theming. Some of those were working on deepening characterization. Some of those were working on setting. So I iterated my way to my first novel, and don't do that at home, boys and girls. Move on to the next idea. Keep going to classes. Don't do that at home. But it worked out in my case. But once again, I do not recommend rewriting the same novel 125 times.
Oh my God, I'm like just hyperventilating. You have a PhD, as you talked about, in mechanical engineering, and apparently your mom talked some sense into you.
Yes.
That's not usually the background.
Really?
No. So how has it enriched your writing? What does it bring?
It brings several things. One, as an engineer, you're always in databases. And to this day, there's not a database I can't find the information I need. I've learned how to query things, wacky, weird things. There are databases that have digitized old documents. Well, some of those old documents, the S's look like F's. So you have to transcribe how you write these queries. So in order to find what you're doing. So like engineering put in a whole way of thinking, logic strand thinking that helps me just doing research. And I love research. The other thing is, as an engineer, you're always asking how and why. And how can I make this better? And so when I look at a civilization, a colony in the 1800s, I want to know how it became. I want to know why is their system of money the way it is. I want to understand the relationships between the colony and the colonizers. I want to go through and just dig and put these pieces together, because when you step into a Vanessa Riley novel, I want you to feel like you're there. I want you to feel like you're safe, because some of these places are a little crazy. But I want you to feel like you're there. And so if you're there, you've got to understand how this world works. And that engineering part of my brain is reconstructing this world so that you can walk in and see these people and be inspired by their lives.
This September, you published Murder in Berkeley Square. Which is the third
book
in this series.
Yes.
And I want to find out, what was your favorite thing about writing it. What was it like? Give me an elevator pitch for it.
Ooh, that's gonna be hard.
I know you can do it. And then some of your favorite reader reactions from it.
Okay. Well, this is the series. It's the Lady Worthing series. Set in 1806, where there wasn't actually a thing called a detective. You were a sleuth, you were a mystagogue, you were a logic puzzler kind of person. And this one is an homage to my favorite, Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie's in There Were None. It has a tragic history of Agatha Christie because the original name of Agatha Christie books was 10 Little Inn Boys. I'm just letting you feel out what it is, because she had found a nursery rhyme that they taught kids in the 1700s and 1800s on what to do with an enslaved young black boy. They thought it'd make it better to change it to 10 Little Indians, right? And then it became And Then There Were None. But if you...
Much better.
Much better. But if you look at the context, Agatha puts 10 people on a remote island, and they all have a reason to die. They all are guilty of something. And this poem is used to taunt as well as to show you how individuals are going to die. So this series is currently set in 1806. Haiti has just become free. The world's abolition movements have stopped. Abby has been working to try and do what she can to support the abolitionists, getting things moving. And by the time we get to this book, because there's murder in Westminster, where I kill people in a neighborhood, murder in Drury Lane, I kill people in a theater, and once again, murder in Berkeley Square, where I'm going to kill you at Christmas. So Abby,
in various locations too.
In various locations. So Abby is trying to get to her cousins, or basically her aunt's Jamaican relatives in Cheapside. It's a big snowstorm has hit London. There are reverberations of that Jean-Jacques Dessalines has been assassinated. So her world is in turmoil, and her husband, who she basically saved his neck and he married her and he went away, has written her some egregious things that he wants done. So Abby is fed up. She's like, I'm going home and get me some black cake. I'm going to just call it a day for this year. Her frenemy neighbor has a huge carriage. He decides he's going to take them, but he has to make one stop in Berkeley Square to get out of a dinner. And Stable doesn't want to go is because he's received a section of the Rebels rhyme. So we take Agatha Christie's nursery rhyme and we spin it to be, what if the enslaved are about to do a revolt in one of the islands and they want to taunt Massa? So maybe it's 8 little Grand Blancs. And we go through this wonderful poem. And unfortunately, each of these men who might deserve designs have gotten a section of the rhyme. And Abby has to figure it out before there's absolutely none, including herself.
So she, of course, didn't get it right, but she ends up being amazing.
Oh, because it's a because this is extra fun. Her mentor, Lord Duncan, who is the magistrate who has let her, because he recognizes her brilliance, help him solve murder mysteries. He's having an all-male it's called a Night of Regrets dinner, where they're supposed to smoke and drink and then confess to the one thing they did this year that they really regret doing.
It's really fun. So tell us some of your favorite reactions from readers.
They love this one because there's an extremely slow burn romance, so people have picked up on that. They love that we got a little bit more of Abby's backstory because you learn the circumstances with why she married, how she became a baroness. And then you see her agency coming through, where what happens is she divorces Lord Worthing. Who is she? She's no longer Lady Worthing. What does that mean? What does it look into her life? And of course she's running for her life at different points in this book, trying not to get killed. She's the Jessica Fletcher of the 1800s.
So one of my favorite aspects of Murder in Berkeley Square was the relationship with your trio of, I guess they're not detectives, they're sleuths, because that's the term.
Yes.
So I really love the fact that you have these two Black women who are cousins, who are brilliant, and they're living in Regency, England, and that's Abby, or Lady Worthing, and Florentina Sewell, her cousin. And then there's Stapleton Henderson. Oh my God, he's so delicious. And there's all this, wonderful sexual tension. And so how did you come up with this trio, and how did you get their amazing chemistry on the page?
When I envision the series, I think of Abigail as being Dominique Devereaux's daughter from Dynasty back then. So she's powerful and elegant. And then because women during that time frame are not allowed to see a dead body, per se, they're not allowed to do actual investigations, I needed a male, someone of privilege, who could actually help Lady Worthing. And so they become, they're enemies in the first book. They become frenemies more so in the second book, but now they're really friends by the third book. But
with a little bit of
with a little bit of enemy still left over.
And a little bit of spark, a little bit of.
But Stapleton is I want to, during this time frame, there's so many wars. He has post-traumatic stress. He's a military veteran. It's not covered enough, in my opinion, the things that we have asked men of service to do. And for him, just to give him a little extra, he was standing 4 inches from Lord Nelson when Lord Nelson is killed at Trafalgar. Lord Nelson, for those who don't know, is the god of the Navy for London. And people wept. I mean, his funeral, all of London is shut down. There's like the long, lengthy carriage ride taking his body to St. Paul's. It's an amazing thing. But from Stapleton's perspective, 4 inches separates you living from the god of the Navy dying. And so we're going to, throughout the series, that is something to think about, especially in a murder series where life and death is frequent.
What do you enjoy the most about being a writer, and what do you hope readers get out of your books?
I enjoy readers' reactions, first of all. As a writer, you're writing for somebody to read this and to escape whatever is bothering them during that day. You want them hooked, you want them transported, and to me that's catnip. It's a fun thing. I love going to book clubs and listening to what readers got out of the book, because sometimes it's different, or you don't realize the seeds that you planted and how someone can internalize it. To me, that is exciting. I love bringing stories and history that people are not familiar with or have not had a chance to hear. Anytime I can bring a woman, particularly a woman of color, back and do her justice to her life, I'm going to do it. It's an exciting thing.
If readers want to learn more about you and check out your fiction, where can they find you?
Well, first and the best place to go is my website, vanessariley.com. It's the mothership. So we've got history, we've got deep dives on the books, and you can get really involved in the world that the worlds I'm discovering for you and putting in the pages. So that is the mothership. And make sure you sign up to the newsletter, because you get a little of everything. You get some recipes, you get some histories, and you definitely get behind the scenes. Like, they were the first to see, some of the characters from Sense and Sensibility, the Hallmark film that I was able to participate in and be the historical consultant for. So you get good stuff if you sign up to my newsletter. But I'm on all the socials. I'm on, I think they call it X now.
I refuse.
But you ain't got enough. You're not there. Don't worry about that. Find me on Instagram. And I do a TikTok every so often, and Facebook. But Instagram is my jam. I love Instagram. You'll see more stuff, more pictures than any of the other mediums, except for my newsletter. You get more.
Oh my God, your images are great, and they're fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was incredible. And everybody, check out this series and the rest of Vanessa's work, because it's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.